from today on, we have to reconnect streams with the land.
The 6,000-page Oregon Plan for Salmon and Watersheds breathes with life and purpose in one simple, elegant sentence.
We, the people of Oregon, promise to do our best to understand and respect the needs of salmon and to make some change in the way we live our daily lives in the hope that both salmon and people will survive and flourish in the future.
Well, we're very fortunate to have become stewards of not only the land on this ranch, but its history.
There needs to be the trust between agencies and landowners because they're not going to be done by rules. It's by people volunteering to do projects such as this and taking responsibility for their properties.
We try to think of the entire picture as much as we possibly can.
The Oregon Plan begins with we, the people. Those of us who draw life and livelihood from cold, clear Oregon waters are partners. This is the story of a few of those partners who are making changes in how they live.
We can say, yes, we're certified organic. We use sustainable farming practices, and we work with agencies ongoing that help us to stay this way.
We've spent a total of about $170,000 on conservation issues on how to manage our nutrients on this farm. And the important thing is that it doesn't owe me a thing. It's all paid for itself because of the savings of being able to use it and not waste it.
The partners span the watershed from ridgetop to ridgetop. These partners earn a living from the land and water. They work with their neighbors, watershed councils, soil and water conservation districts, the USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service, tribal governments, and Oregon Natural Resource agencies. All watershed partners working toward a common purpose so that salmon and people will survive and flourish in the future.
One of the results of this project is we've taken a desiccated, dry, brown meadow that existed when the water was in the ditch and turned it into what it was before the meadow was ditched, and that is a green, lush, vibrant, living ecosystem.
In Southwest Oregon, landowners have found that practicing conservation makes for a better quality of life as well as better business.
As we became more and more involved with conservation, we found that our whole operation started to improve.
Many of our customers are looking for a so-called green product. They want to know that they're not going to be supporting practices that aren't sustainable.
Sometimes small changes can reap big returns, and an improved watershed can lead to an improved bottom line. For ranchers and farmers in eastern Oregon, good conservation means good business and provides stronger ties to keep traditional family farms thriving in Oregon.
On the no-tillage direct seeding type system, over the course of a 2-year time cycle, I save at least 4 trips over the field by tillage. Each one of those trips evaporates about 2 inches of moisture, and the total trips on our acreage cost me about $50,000 extra in machinery and labor. So that translates right to the bottom line.
We've been able to put 5,500 acres either into no-till systems or strip cropping systems. What that translates to is a reduction in erosion of 90 to 92%. Crop residue management, mulch tillage, and that sort of thing have been going on since late 1980s. The project you see behind me is a water and sediment control basin. It's designed to take the peak off runoff events, capture some of the water and let it seep out over a period of time.
15 Mile Creek also offers partners in the Oregon Plan the advantage of history and perspective as work begins in other basins.
This ranch was founded in 1871 and is a significant resource in Wasco County and Oregon history.
Conservation and stewardship of the land means to me that this land will be here for my sons or daughters or anyone else who wants to farm this in another 100 years.
In Tillamook County, cooperative efforts bring industrial, agricultural, municipal, and recreational users together to restore Oregon's coastal rivers and estuaries.
We see a lot of improvement with the riparian zone, with willows and fencing projects. Now we're putting a number of tide gates, and I believe in protecting our resources for that, make it nature. I think we all have to work together to make it better.
The Oregon Plan for Salmon and Watersheds connects urban and rural efforts. In the Willamette Valley, you are never very far from a stream where salmon are threatened. Here, the pressure on resources is greater and the call to action more acute.
We're always working on conservation issues and looking at little things we can do. We cap our tile lines when we're times of the year when we're using manure waste on our land. We got buffer strips on all the low areas where there's any drainage leaving. We put berms in to slow the water down and catch it in the wintertime, just around from our buildings and our driveways, just to keep sediment and so on from leaving the farm, so when it does leave, it's very clean.
Consensus is the key. The Oregon Plan succeeds when people change, when they change a culvert to improve fish passage, when they change a policy to put more water into the stream, when they change how they ranch and farm.
We've tried to be careful about designing our fencing, and one of the very first things was to fence the animals off the creek. Because the ranch was a flood irrigation system, we've changed that. Hopefully we're a lot more efficient now, probably using 50% less water to water the whole place.
Whenever you make a decision on the ranch concerning whatever it is, we harvest timber in a particular manner, the cattle, your own personal objectives are really an integral part of this holistic concept.
What we need to do is look at what their objectives are and be able to mesh those concerns that they might have in reaching their objectives with the needs of the land. It adds to the cumulative effect of all of the other landowners in the areas also doing similar treatments in management of their uplands to be able to provide for the proper capture, storage, and safe release of waters eventually to the streams.
People and fish will survive and flourish in the future as long as there is a harmony of purpose. There needs to be a balance between what man can produce and what the land can provide.
This project is one of the most significant projects in the Columbia Basin. It exemplifies where we have to go to recover salmon and really to work with people, with landowners. This project is the result of landowners who are eager and willing to work to recover meadow complex, stream function, and salmon habitat. It really is the signature project for where we have to go as land managers and stewards to recover salmon and continue to use private lands for economic interests and gain.
Just as salmon in the Northwest didn't become threatened overnight, restoration efforts provide the best results when they progress in a sustained manner.
The project is unique in that it encompasses the entire meadow complex. It's not just a small corridor of land through the meadow with a fence along each side. Rather, it's a project that encompasses the meadow from one side to the other. And the project is fundamentally geared at reconnecting the land with the water. This project moves a ditched creek out of the ditch and into its old meander channel so that that water, that life, can reconnect with the land.
The Oregon Plan flourishes with each completed project, with each new landowner, and with each new partner. Now it's time for you to invest in the Oregon Plan for salmon and watersheds. If you're working to restore a watershed, seek more partners and be a partner in other restoration efforts. If you're not working to restore a watershed, start.
Contact any one of the partner agencies listed that made this feature possible. The Oregon Plan begins with your commitment.
The success is going to have to be shared with a lot of people and agencies. It's like having libraries in your community and not utilizing them. The expertise is out there.
Anything that's a plan for the future, some kind of vision for a better future, I feel honored to be part of a plan like that.